Hello and welcome to my Knights of the Fallen Empire Master Mode Guide. In this video, I'll be going over Chapter 3. Now before I begin, I wanted to give a bit of an intro to the chapter itself. Now, starting from this chapter onwards, you will consistently have a companion with you, which means that now you will have a consistent healer if you need. But that also means that you will have to do some companion management. When your companion is in an AoE, you will have to put them on passive, let them walk up to you, and then put them on the offensive. You won't have to do it all the time, but there are a few stages within the game that you will have to do this. Now the best part about having a companion with you is the ability to use Heroic Moment. Now if you don't have Heroic Moment maxed out, then it won't be an issue for you in the earlier chapters as they are relatively easy. But as you get to the later chapters, Heroic Moment then becomes vital to your success, because there will be some stages where you will need the full damage and the utility that comes with all the abilities of Heroic Moment. So that is exactly why I would absolutely recommend that you first get to Legendary status, which means that you have all 8 classes maxed out, and then also finish up the companion stories with all of the 8 classes. Alright, without further delay, let's begin. Now the initial area is just full of standard Skytroopers, so I'm just going to speed up the gameplay until we get to the first skip of the chapter. And you'll start by fighting 3 standard Skytroopers. Now make sure you don't go into the room to the right, so you stay within this room. Because as soon as you go into the next room, you will spawn an additional Skytrooper, and that will remove any ability for you to skip that entire room. So just defeat these mobs and I will show you how to do the skip. Now that the mobs have been defeated, what we will be doing is to go through the entrance to the left. So just run right through by hugging the left hand side. And just like that, you've just skipped that room and an unnecessary fight. Now defeat this strong Skytrooper, and you'll be met with another cinematic, which I will skip. As soon as the cinematic finishes, you'll be in a room, and I will be doing another line of sight pull. So I'm going to put Lana on passive, and I will be standing behind this pillar here. As soon as you move past a certain point into this room, a fair few Skytroopers will spawn, and they will be spread out across the entire room. Now they are all standard, but I like to keep things a bit organized and clean, so I'm just gonna let them come to me, and this is the best that I could get it, so I'm just gonna defeat them as they are. I'm just gonna hit all these Skytroopers at least once, so that I have aggro on them. And just like that, nice and easy. At the end of the hallway, there's going to be a strong Skytrooper. Just defeat it. And I will be doing another line of sight pull just past this door here. And now that the Skytrooper has been defeated, same thing here, put Lana on passive. Run into the room, and then 3 Skytroopers are going to spawn. I'm going to run back out and let them come to me. Now again, you don't really need to do this as they are standard mobs. For me, it's just a force of habit of doing line of sight pulls all the time, so again, you don't really need to do this. Now, as you move upstairs, there's going to be 3 more standard Skytroopers. You don't need to do any line of sight pull on them. They're pretty close to each other anyway. Going to change my tactical into the healing one, just in case. Now this walker is basically your first mini-boss. It has only a handful of abilities which are all easily managed. So its first ability is called Orbital Strike. It is a red AoE on the ground at your location. Just simply move out of it. If you are in melee range, obviously Lana is also going to be in melee range. My recommendation for you would be to stay at around 3.5 meters away from the boss and continue to do your damage. That way when the red AoE goes on you, you can move out of it and Lana will be outside of the radius as well. Additionally, the boss has a casted ability called Charged Bolt. Just interrupt it. You cannot stun the boss as it has boss immunity, but you can interrupt it, and you should interrupt Charged Bolt. Finally, it has an ability called Missile Barrage, where it will fire off a few missiles in front of the boss. So in this case, I would recommend that you turn the boss around if you are melee. If you are ranged, then you don't really have a choice, so you'll just have to watch out, keep an eye out on your companion and your health as well. Now, in the instance that you do have Heroic Moment fully maxed out as well, then this fight is nothing but a cakewalk. Because all you have to do is to charge in, or in your case, if you're ranged, then stay at ranged, and use all of your Heroic Moment abilities. And by the time you've used up all your abilities at least once, the boss will be pretty much defeated. Now, I will be using Heroic Moment to show you exactly how easy this boss is with all those abilities. And just like that, within 20 seconds, the boss is dead. And it only had the chance to summon one group of ads, so now I hope you see why Heroic Moment is so important. Now there's going to be another cinematic, which I'm just going to skip through, and we're going to be put into the Skytrooper facility. Now defeat the standard Skytroopers in this area. And once you defeat them, make sure you go up one set of stairs, because there is a trigger on both set of stairs to summon more Skytroopers. So if you were to go on the left hand side and clear the Skytroopers on the left hand side, and then you decided to go from on the right, you will then summon even more ads. So pick one side and go all the way to the top. Now I'm just going to speed through this area, because there's going to be a few Skytroopers that'll spawn, and they're very easy to go through. Now, once you get to this location, there's going to be a strong Skytrooper that'll spawn, and I'm just going to push it off the edge. Now, looking back at this video, that was a bit of a risky move. I should have pushed it towards the middle, or the middle core, I guess, but at least this worked out. Now there's going to be some more Skytroopers that'll spawn. Just defeat them as normal. Now there's going to be another strong Skytrooper that'll spawn. If your push is available by this point, I would suggest that you push it off. But in my case, since I still have about 15 seconds left, I'm going to hold on to it for the final droid in this room.
Evacuate the tower. Achieve minimum safe distance.
Now if you see that droid at the end of the hallway, that is the one that I will be pushing off the edge. Now you can either go behind this crate here, but in my case I will go behind this box or these crates here. So I'm going to put Lana on passive, activate the force field controls, and then quickly go back behind the crates. Now once the droid is in position, I'm just going to go and push it off. And just like that, easy. There's going to be a few more Sky Troopers that will spawn, so I'm just going to speed this up. Now once you get to this point, there will be a cinematic. My recommendation is that you pick the dark side option, because if you pick the light side option, you would then have to go outside, fight additional mobs, and just have additional objectives for you to complete, so it's just not worth doing. Pick the dark side options and you will just be, your objective will be to escape. So cool, that's it. It'll save you a hell of a lot of time. Now in this room there's going to be a few Sky Troopers that'll spawn, just defeat them as normal. Then once you defeat these mobs, past this door there's going to be a fair few Sky Troopers that'll spawn out of these crates. So I'm just going to do the line of sight method and pull them out here. Although you don't really have to do it, they're pretty weak. And there's plenty of Kolto stations within that room, so now I'm just going to speed this up. But again, you do not have to do this. It's just me being used to doing line of sight pulls. Alright, now that we're outside, we're going to be met with another cinematic, which I will be skipping. And now we'll be fighting a few standard Sky Troopers on our way to the last boss of this chapter. So I will be just speeding this up. Now I will be using the line of sight method to bring those 3 Sky Troopers closer together. So I'm going to aggro the one in the middle, run down the ramp, and let them clump up a little bit. Once you defeat these Sky Troopers, you'll be then put into a cinematic. I'm just going to skip it. And I will talk about the final boss, well, final bosses. Now I'll be talking about the abilities that both of these bosses have. So number 1 is that both of them have a buff called Steadfast, which means that they are immune to physics abilities such as pushes and pulls. Both of them also have a charge. And not only that, they also have an ability called Switch Targets. And as the name implies, they will switch target from you to Lana, and then from Lana to you. So this is exactly why you will need to crowd control one of them, while you focus all your energy on the other. Now for the abilities that Novo has specifically, he has a slow, a 50% movement speed slow, and he also has a knockback which is instant. So it's something that you cannot predict, and he will do it instantaneously. So make sure that if you are engaging Novo, that you position your character towards the center of the arena. Now for Tanik, he also has a push, which is a front conal ability which you can either run out of or you can interrupt. It's called Force Wave. And it's on a 2-second cast timer, so that one is much more easier to avoid compared to Novo's attack. So I would recommend that you first defeat Tanik, as his moves are predictable and easily avoidable. Then once he's defeated, then focus all your energy on Novo. And in this fight I will be using Heroic Moment, because between the time I used Heroic Moment on the Walker boss and now has been around maybe 10, maybe 12 minutes, more than enough time for Heroic Moment to come off cooldown. So to start off with, I will be using Lana's ability called Dark Tempest on Novo so that he is CC'd and out of the fight. I will then use Heroic Moment and place Orbital Strike in the middle of the arena and let Tanik charge me. And then I will then continue to use all of my Heroic Moment abilities until he is defeated, and then I will then focus my attacks on Novo. Let's have a look.
Press the attack.
Now Novo's CC has ended and he's going to charge me, and I'm going to use my AoE fear at this point, but since he's already within my AoE and the damage from that AoE breaks him outside of the CC that I put him in, at this point I decide to use my Force Choke and my backhand stuns to keep him outside of the fight and to finish off Tanik as quickly as possible. And also, if you have a taunt, an AoE taunt or a single target taunt, I would highly advise you to use it whenever Tanik or Novo switch targets. And just like that, we've now completed Chapter 3 of Knights of the Fallen Empire on Master Mode. I hope these guides helped you, and if they did, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video, which is going to be Knights of the Fallen Empire Chapter 4 on Master Mode. Thank you for watching.
Channel your anger.
Lana?